Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us for our first live broadcast of 2017. I'm Brett Furber, and I'm a catastrophic injury attorney at Messa Associates. I joined the team a few months ago, and I'm excited to be hosting our broadcast today. I came to Messa Associates with an extensive background in prosecuting major crimes and homicides. During my time as a prosecutor and meeting with and working on the side of crime victims, I've been exposed to the many devastating consequences that criminal acts have on their victims. Prosecution and jail time are ways to potentially rehabilitate an offender and to protect citizens from that offender's future, possibly harmful infractions. But jail time does little to assist a victim's transition back to a normal life. The loss of a spouse or a child or permanent injury sustained as a result of a crime are events that have lasting impact on somebody's quality of life. Often, it's necessary to file a civil lawsuit against a perpetrator of a crime in order to recover for economic damages like medical bills, lost wages, or non-economic damages like loss of companionship, emotional distress, pain and suffering, or loss of enjoyment of life. I'd like to take a look at a few common questions regarding monetary recoveries for crime victims and hand out some helpful information. The first question is, what is the difference between restitution and compensation? Restitution is money paid to a crime victim by the offender ordered by a criminal court, and usually it's a part of the offender's sentence. Compensation is money paid to a crime victim ordered by a civil court as a result of a lawsuit. Question: can a victim receive both restitution and compensation? Yes. A criminal can be sentenced to pay restitution by a judge in criminal court to reimburse a victim for things like maybe medical treatment, possibly lost wages. But the offender can also be sued in civil court. And it's important to remember that not just the offender can be sued in civil court, but other entities can be sued as well. For instance, a bar may be liable for allowing a fight to occur inside of that bar where a person becomes a victim of a crime of an individual, but the bar is still responsible civilly. And a victim can recoup non-economic or punitive damages related to the injuries caused from the defendant or something like the bar. Usually, if a crime victim receives restitution in criminal court and wins a verdict in civil court, the verdict amount is decreased by the amount that they've already received in restitution. Question: how is restitution or compensation paid? Often, a judge will look at whether or not a criminal has the means to pay before they order them to pay restitution. And in some cases, a court will parse out a total amount into smaller monthly installments so that the restitution can be feasibly paid. In civil court, if an individual offender doesn't have the means to pay, it's unlikely a civil case can be brought against that person. However, if a corporation, a business, or other entity is responsible in some way in causing that crime, they can be forced to pay the victim of that crime. Question: what does it cost to sue a perpetrator for damages related to a crime? As is the case with all other personal injury claims filed by Messa Associates, obtaining a lawyer to represent you in a civil case against an offender costs nothing. There are no upfront fees or hourly charges. You pay for services provided only if a settlement or verdict is reached. At that point, a formally agreed upon percentage is taken from the recovery amount, as well as any costs incurred by the law firm to litigate the claim. In other words, if you are the victim of a crime and find yourself struggling to regain your former quality of life, you have nothing to lose by seeking out an attorney. I hope this information is something that you'll never need. But should you find yourself the victim of a crime in need of assistance, or should a family member be the victim of a crime, I hope you'll consider calling Messa Associates. We have one mission here: to make life better for people who have been harmed. 877-637-7252. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.